Welcome to episode 5 of the Unintentional Journeyman. It is the middle of November, November 13th exactly, it's in the year 2021. Again, we're managing Farsley Celtic in the Vanarama regional leagues. We currently sit in 17th place after our last episode, so we'll take a look at the table here. Quite a bit of news to share between our last episode, which was in the early part of October, and now a lot has happened, some good, some bad. At one point, I'm going to be honest, I got to the end of August and I was sitting there going, I don't know tactics. I just realized I felt like I had no clue, what to do tactically with this guy. And I was also thinking I should just stop this because I clearly don't know what I'm doing. But I kind of grinded through that and feel like a little bit better now. And I've never pretended to be an expert at the game, so I'm just going to keep on going and keep learning. I'm having a good time doing this, so let's drive on. But yeah, there were some grim moments here towards the back end of October where things were not looking good at all. And let's get to them, though. Let's take a look at the table. We'll take a look at some results, touch on a couple of other quick things, and I want to jump into the AFC Telford game at 3 o'clock this afternoon pretty quick. So with no further ado, let's take a look at the table. We currently sit in 17th place. We were a couple weeks ago, about a week or so ago, we were in 20th place in the relegation zone, but we've won our last 2 games and jumped back out of the relegation zone. It's nice to be out of the relegation zone. It might be like, wow, we're at 17th place, not 20th place. But if you look over here at points scored, we have 19 points and the relegation zone is 16, and our goal differential is pretty bad. So, a couple wins by these teams below, 1 win by these teams below us, and they've leapfrogged us and we're right back in it. So no rest for the weary here as we try to avoid relegation this year. We need to keep forging ahead and keep picking up points wherever we can. If we look at the results over the past month that we've been here, when we last played, it was the October 9th game against Blythe, where we lost a very drab match. We just couldn't generate any offense. And that's really kind of where our troubles kind of emerged. And this type of thing where we not generating offense, and then our defense started to struggle, and things just went downhill real quick after that. We followed that match with Solihull Moors in the FA Cup 4th qualifying round. That was Moors is the team in the Vanarama National League above ours, and they are in 7th place, a much better team. And actually surprised, this game was tied late in the game when they got a late goal to pull ahead of us. So even though we were playing on the road at their house, I thought a 2-1 loss and playing it as tightly and as well as we did was a big step forward. I was feeling pretty good then. Then October 20th, 4 days later, we come in and we played Bradford, who we love playing Bradford because we beat them 2-1 here, we beat them 3-1 in the FA Cup, and then we also tied them in the FA Cup. So we've played them 3 times now. We have 2 wins and a tie. So any game against Bradford, PA is a good game as far as we're concerned. Even though the score is only 1 goal, we were up 2-0. It was a pretty comfortable game. So on October 20th, I'm thinking, this is pretty good. We're doing okay here. And then the wheels fell off the bus. October 23rd, 3 days later, we were up 2-0 against Warrington. And Warrington is not a strong team. They are 18th on the table. And we're playing them at home. This is a match, I'm thinking we should win this. And we're up 2-0. We're cruising. Everything's looking good. And they just erupted for 4 goals. We could only answer with 1, and they beat us 4-3. Likewise, Brackley comes in 3 days later, 16th in the table. We're playing them at home. This is a match I figured we should win this. We lose 2-1. We actually got a penalty shot in the 80-something minute, and we could have tied it, and the keeper made a save, and we ended up losing 2-1. So that happened. And right about this point, just nothing felt like it was working. And this might not look that bad because you see these green dots in here, but if we take out the FA Cup and FA Trophy matches and just leave the Vanarama Nationals Dortmund, what you see here is that we had a loss, a loss, a loss, a win, a loss, a loss. We had lost 5 out of 6 matches in league play. And it was at this point in time where my press secretaries forwarded me an email of a news article that was written saying, is Godzilla Blitz going to lose his job here? I'm thinking, okay, this is getting close to the end. Our board was saying we're satisfied again. Things are kind of starting to look a little bit grim, though, because we're getting newspaper articles wondering if we're going to lose our job. So I started freaking out then, and our tactic wasn't working. I didn't know what to do. We couldn't stop teams from scoring. We couldn't score enough. I felt like our whole season was just falling apart. So I spent a bunch of time kind of digging up tactics and looking at things we could do and trying things and learning more about tactics. And I put together a new tactic. I'll show you that later, but we're doing a 4-3-1-2 now. It's kind of a 4-3-3 narrow. And I thought we have to try something different. We played FC United at home after that. Again, this is a team 20th in the table, so below us in the table. Play them at home. We should this one. We actually were fairly lucky to this one. The one goal was an own goal on a corner kick that bounced around in front of the net and bounced off one of their players and went in. Otherwise, it was dead even. So it was great to get that win because it picked the morale up of the team, and that's kind of what we needed. But a 1-0 win against that team, the way we scored the goal, was not making me feel any better. But the tactics seemed like it was working, and so I tweaked it a little bit. And then in our last match against Guiseley here, fourth in the league, I think they were second in the league when we played them. We're down 1-0 in the 70th minute, and I switched from a kind of a conservative approach to bringing out this 4-3-1-2 in more of an attacking mode, which I think is really kind of what it's designed for. And we started getting shots. We started moving the ball down. We put the ball in their box. We picked up a penalty. And then, let me see, I might actually pull this one up. Atkinson gets it. We scored one on the penalty, so it's tied up. Then in the 87th minute here, let me pull up this goal. It's worth waiting for. Atkinson gets a free kick from 27 yards away, and this is what happens. Boom! Upper right 90. Picks up the goal, and we get the win, 2-1. We held on to get the win, again, in front of 1,000 people away at Guiseley playing in second place. So I think this new tactic is a little bit better, and I'm feeling good about it. It was also, however, around this time. So I went from feeling pretty good about the club on October 20th to, by October 26th, thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. We've lost 5 out of 6. Tactics aren't working. Everything's a mess. I should just stop doing this. I should quit and just leave this game behind. To now, we win 2 in a row. We've got out of the relegation zone. We're up to 17th place. We got a little bit of momentum. Players are happy again. New formation seems to be working, and I'm back in kind of a little bit more of a stable place here. The other thing that I noticed to kind of make note of is that financially, so if we look at our squad here and we look at contracts, most everybody I've been picking up are non-contracts. Here it says NC non-contract offers. And if we go down to our U23s and everybody in U18s, they're all away because we don't have to pay them any money unless they play in a senior club match. So I'm thinking, well, that's great. Our finances are great, and our board's going to be perfectly fine with what we're doing. So that's how we were able to basically load up the U23 and U18 teams. But then I looked at finances, and we're now under it, but we were £1,000 per week over the wage budget. And apparently what the game does is they count a percentage of those non-contracted wages as part of your wage budget. So we were actually way over wage budget, and the board, who were looking at finances and looking at confidence, was only satisfied. And one of the things I was getting dinged on was club finances, where it was something like low 40%, and that was driving down their satisfaction with my work as well. So I went in, I had to go through, and I dumped a lot of our U23s and U18s that were either on expensive non-contracts or I couldn't see them fitting into the team. Some players I didn't really want to let go, but I want to make sure the board isn't upset about our finances, and I brought us back in. We've also picked up a couple of new players. We'll go through those as we look at the tactics, but that's pretty much it for now. I just want to kind of go through the lineup a little bit, and let's play the game here. So let's do team selection. I think the weather is 50 degrees and cloudy today, so no problems there. So here's our new formation. It's a 4-3-1-2. Puts a lot of pressure on the wingbacks here, and I'm not sure we have the wingbacks that we can work with this, but it seems to be working okay. And I still can't figure out any other way around the fact that we've got just certain positions on the team where players can't do everything they need to do. So try it for now. But anyway, quite a bit of changes here. And I realized that if we go back to our very first game of the year, right now, the only player who I think was starting in that first game of the year is Chris Atkinson, our center midfielder here. We've replaced our goalkeeper again, the other couple of other defenders that were playing from the start of the year, and anybody else that was in there. So with no further, Frank Burton is a goalkeeper we picked up on a non-contract offer. He's expensive. I think he's £250 every time he plays, but he seems a little bit better than Patching is. And so Patching now is sitting in on the bench for a while. I may alternate them through, but I tend to like Burton's done better since he's come on. We're rotating in now Joe Lindley, who's sitting on the bench. He was the very expensive guy that I signed kind of in that moment of desperation when we'd lost 5 in a row. Declan Thompson is a right winger, the right back that we picked up after that. He's playing wing back now. I kind of like his his numbers. They're pretty good, but he's got good speed and good pace. His defensive numbers, crossing is terrible, and that's really what's kind of killing us from this wingback position, but we don't have anyone who can cross from either side. So it makes me think I may need yet to abandon this tactic at some point, but for now it's working. Mick Boyd is our stud center back that we picked up. He's been real solid and will start today. Anthony Renton is a recent pickup. We're just working him up into shape. He is better than the other two center backs we have, even Foulstone, who is starting there, and he's won the starting job away from Foulstone now, and we'll see how it goes for him. I really like his numbers, good physicals, and kind of solid all around for this level of play. So he was a recent signing, and with that, we are right up against even cutting all these players. We can't take on any more wages without going over on the wage budget. I do have one loan transfer in of a striker that looks pretty positive. And I'm sorry, I skipped that. He just rejected us, so we don't have that. So yeah, no transfers on the horizon coming in. It really starting to look like our team is what the team is. Unless I can pick up a couple more people on loan, I'd still like to get in a striker on loan. Ben Blythe is our left back. He has replaced Taylor, although right now I think I'm going to have them in a rotation to see which one performs better. Again, I'm not really happy with either wing back in this formation. They're asked to cover a lot of ground going forward, and none of them can cross, so that kind of puts the tactic at a little bit of a strain here, but otherwise it seems to be working, and we tend to develop it through the center, so we'll see how that goes. 3 center backs. Only changes. I've moved Atkinson. One of the things that I've realized is Atkinson has a player trait here, which is runs with the ball through the center, and I had him at a ball-winning midfielder as on a defensive role, but that trait was making him abandon this area, which was opening it up for other teams. So I've shoveled him off to the right a little bit and put Twyford in as a deep-lying playmaker role. I'm going to see how that works because he has really good passing, so I'm thinking that might be a place where he can take advantage of that. He's not necessarily natural at it, but his numbers look really good for it. And that 14 at passing, maybe he can kind of start our offense from this deep-lying playmaker role instead of being on the right side. So they're flip-flopped. Jack Stainrod as our third center midfielder. He's a very good attacker and will push up the field in support. This is actually the defensive element of this because we're playing AFC Telford on the road away and they're stronger than us. I've got a more defensive orientation. I switch here. This our third formation takes that same 4-3-1-2 and puts it in a much more offensive role. In this one, the wingbacks will come up on support. Atkinson, instead of playing a defensive role, comes up on support, and so basically our mentality is much more of an attacking role. So I'm kind of using the same formation in 2 different ways. It hasn't worked this way in the defensive role way, but I've kind of tweaked it a little bit and want to give it another try tonight. Josh Hawks, I'm really excited about him. He is one of our latest acquisitions, an attacking midfielder, and he's actually why I thought maybe we could go to the 4-3-1-2 because we haven't had a good attacking midfielder, but I've got him in an attacking midfielder role. Just really nice numbers for this level. Agility 10, composure 11, flair 12, decisions 8, that's fine. Dribbling, finishing is a 10, so he can shoot. First touch, long shots, passing is a 10. So just nice, solid numbers all around. Good stamina at 11, work rate at 10, and determination at 10. So just some nice numbers that I like to see in all players. So I'm hopeful that he can kind of work in this role, help midfield connect with our strikers. At strikers, it's an interesting situation because Josh Scott and Paul Harding are better. Harding's got much more of the head skill. Scott's got much more of the finishing skill. Together, I think they should make a good pair. But Christian Sadie and also our other striker, Stevens, was it first name? I've forgotten his first name now. Sorry about that. Jack Stevens have had more goals. We have just not got a lot of output out of our strikers so far this season, but I'm going to stick with Harding and Scott for a little bit more to see if they can put some balls in the net. And if they don't, then I'm going to switch out to Sadie and Stevens. And Sadie and Stevens will get some playing time anyway. But all the attribute-wise, Harding and Scott should be better than Sadie and Stevens. Performance-wise, they're not even close yet, but I refuse to believe that with just a little bit more time, that's not going to turn around. So that's our starting lineup. We're going to go a little bit of a cautious mentality tonight, see how that goes. If we fall behind or it's not producing any shots at all, I think I'm going to switch to the attacking mode, which has served us well in the last 2 matches. So that's the plan for tonight, and let's talk to the team and get this going. Anthony Renton is newly acquired and is not quite yet in match shape. We'll probably sub him out after about 60 minutes or so, unless he's doing extraordinarily well. All right, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It is 50 degrees and cloudy. No rain today. Tell the team they're expected to pick up where they left off. That sounds good. I know we're the underdog. Actually, been on a good run lately, so go out there and impress me. Haven't got a good reaction out of the team in a while now here. But at least they're listening to me now. So let's end the team talk. Fairly well prepared. Oops. I need to take a look at the other team here. Let me pause real quick. Opposing instructions. I always forget to do this. And this is another thing I want to learn is this Ask Assistant. And I know what each of them are, but I have to kind of spend some time thinking about what I should do and looking at the other team. And I feel like that might help me because, again, I don't necessarily feel a lot of confidence in our assistant manager here. All right. Here we go. We are underway. Already? Is this a highlight? No, it isn't. Okay. Every time I come back to this is defaulting to a different view that I have to change. So I'm not sure how I changed the default match view on this skin here. A lot of pressure so far. Ooh, that was a nice switch. Blocked. Good. Okay, is that it? All right, we'll take that. One shot out of all that. That feels like a long shot. Oof. Okay. We'll fix our view here a little bit. Let's pull that over. Pull that down. That should do. And let's get underway again. All right. So we have the kicking out short. We have it playing up the middle here, I think. At least we should be. I'm not sure why we're going out the sides here. Hawks, our advanced midfielder. Scott, good speed. Nice. Get it in front. Harding with the header. Oh, that's what he's supposed to do. That's how things are supposed to work, except it's supposed to go in the net. So, but from at least an execution standpoint, we'll take that. Yeah, that's a foul. Clearly a foul. I'm not quite sure what they did, but clearly a foul. So, okay. Oof. First to the ball, boys. Win it. Yes, here we go. Hawks again. Our new attacking midfielder. Okay. Why are you running away? Okay, get back in. Twyford, that's good. Stand right. Don't shoot and stand there. Follow the ball. Okay, still our ball. Okay, so far so good. Feels like roughly even. This feels dangerous. Ooh, Burton. I like his quick hands. I feel like Patching would have a little bit more trouble with those saves, and so Burton seems to be a little bit more confident there. Okay, Stainrod, back to Blythe. Twyford, Stainrod, into Hawks. Hawks, the big... Nice pass up to Harding, who cannot finish with his feet. He shouldn't be shooting, he should be passing. Of course, he can't pass either. And that might be a problem with the tactics, that really there's... Even though he's in a support role, all that Harding can really do is play the ball with his head. He's just not very good with it with his feet here. Can we steal that? Oh, keep it down here. Meekum's running. Nice steal by Atkinson. I'm liking Atkinson on the right-hand side with that move. Come on, stick with it. Yes, there you go. Determination, boys. Centers it down the middle. What's going to happen here? I sense a mistake by eBay. Wonder if he is African or Japanese. Ooh. Uh-oh. This feels like a long highlight. These sometimes feel like they end in goals. All that for a corner kick? At least the game is more exciting. The last two I feel like we've showed have been just drab affairs with very few highlights. Oh, you know what it is? I know what's going on here. I think I sent the match highlights at comprehensive highlights. So that must be why we're getting more highlights and not much is happening. I'm going to pause for a second here and set that back. I'm afraid that's going to be... Yeah, we're on comprehensive highlights. I was watching that because I wanted to try to get a sense for tactics. So I'm going to reset this back to extended, and that should give us less breaks in play, but at least the breaks in play that we'll get will be a little bit more meaningful here. Yeah, now things are slowing down. Oops, they're all focused after the feedback. I feel like I should shout. Should I encourage them? Encouraging makes me feel like they haven't been doing well. I'm just going to let it play. Even though I get nervous when the other team is all focused and we're just composed and normal. I feel like I'm letting my team down here. But hopefully they understand that every time I yell at them, they just get anxious and freak out. Josh Scott picks up a yellow card. Okay, we got them deep in their end. Okay. This is a problem, I think, with the narrow formation, is if they come down the sides like this, we don't have a lot to stop them, and they seem to be able to pick up ground quick again on the outside. We're playing narrow. Oh, that was a brilliant save. Went for the near post, and Burton with yet another good save. Okay, 0-0 after 38 minutes here. So I'm a little bit concerned that the tactic, Josh Scott has been booked, he's off the tackles. Yeah, we'll do that. They are just continually focused. AFC Telford has been a very focused team here. We are just composed, but I'll take composed. Wow, so halftime. 0-0. We've had one shot on frame. They've had two. Neither team with clear-cut chances. Possession's been equal. Corners, they've had one. We've had 0. We might try to play for set pieces here. I wonder if we've got that going. What's our tactics say? Are we playing for set pieces in position? We are, and we still only got one corner. Okay, well, I'm, on the road, I will take a tie. Tell the boys I did well and the efforts were excellent. Yes, been the better team. We haven't been the better team, but I'm happy with their performance so far. Keep it up. Yes, they are delighted, except for Paul Harding, who is nervous. I'm going to go just have a word with Paul. I'm going to calm down. Okay, say calm. Is there one? Where's the one I believe? Yes, there's a lot more to come for you, and I believe you got what it takes. Yes, he's still nervous. He listened, but he's still nervous. The man's a rock of nerves here. Let's end this team talk. Off we go to the second half. Anyone we need to worry about from conditioning? Ben Blythe. I don't have another left back, Ben. No one else out there can play. It's all up to you. Think about 60 minutes. I'm going to switch out some striker. That's a little bit of a ambitious long ball. Not sure. Oof. Oh, this feels like a shot. Get it out of here. Good. Win the ball. Uh-oh. Yes. Burton is a rock in front. Just an agile, nimble Spider-Man of goal here. Okay, Harding's not nervous anymore. What do they want us to change? The threat in the air. Mark him tight. Yeah, sounds like a good idea to me. What? Why is it paused? Oh, someone's hurt. Harding is hurt. Well, okay. That makes it easy. Let's bring in Sadie. For Harding, support target man. Yep, that works. That makes sense. And confirm changes, and off we go. Well, I was going to kind of do that, I think, anyway. So, a little bit earlier than I want to, but nonetheless, in the grand scheme of things, there'd be a lot worse players to lose that we just don't have. We don't have a left back. And we have 5 subs, and I don't keep a goalkeeper as an extra sub. Excuse me. So I kind of sometimes worry about that. Now the question here, as we come up on 70 minutes, is let's see what happens here with this one. Get the ball. How about a ball with a counter attack? That feels dangerous. He comes out of the box. They're just recycling it back and forth. Wide. No problem. Okay. The question here at 70 minutes, do we go for the win? They are outshooting us. I think, let's see what we could do for subs here. How are we doing? Across the board. Atkinson's struggling a little bit on the right-hand side. Scott is not performing well. 6.4. He just cannot have a good game. Harding 6.5. Sadie just got in, so he's probably at the default 6.7. We could bring in Edwards at center mid to give us some fresh energy there and go to an attacking formation. I'm going to wait 5 minutes and turn it on for the last 15 minutes. So let's go 5 more minutes and see what happens. Maybe just take a burst and see if we can get one at the end here. Okay. I feel like playing for the win is a little bit risky in this situation. And I feel like the wise manager would play for a tie. But let's go attacking. Everything looks correct here. Let's try it for 10 minutes and see what happens. This may be crazy. All right, here we go. We're attacking. It's worked twice before. Let's see if the magic is there. Not sure why the clock slows down like that sometimes. Maybe they're just figuring out how we're scoring our goals. Let's go, boys. 78 minutes. No changes yet. Our attacking mentality has not shifted the board yet. 82, 83. Do we try one more sub? Let's get something. Waiting for that highlight, that one goal that can flip our season. Ben Blythe picks up a yellow card. He's got a 7.5 rating, 85 minutes. Let's take a look at, can we do anything else? Atkinson has struggled on the right-hand side. We could bring in Duran. I don't think it makes sense to make a defensive switch unless I want to try Lindley at right back instead of Thompson, but Thompson has played okay. Let's give us a little bit more energy in the midfield for these last few minutes. It's a little bit risky because Atkinson is a better defensive player, but let's get one here. Marcus Wood, they've got an injury. Okay. Why is it paused? Oh, Edwards is hurt. That's our injury. Darn it. Okay. Okay, well, let's go back to cautious. Let's change up our plans here. We're going to have to bring... let's see who's better defensively. Oh, they're all awful. Sadie can't play defense to save his life, as should be expected. And neither can Scott. Let's bring... So he's going to come off. Or just drag him off. How do I get rid of him? Can I just play him off? I feel like I should know how to do this, but... I just want to remove him from the game. Take off. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Edwards is off. Let's bring Christian Sadie down here in the middle. And let's go defensive. This feels bad. Should I put him across and go 4-4-1? No. Let's just do that. Here we go. Hopefully we can just hold on. Oh, 6 minutes of extra time. That's not good. Don't get any shots. Don't beat us here in the last couple minutes. Oh, this feels dangerous. Clear it out of here. Clear it out of here. Clear it out of here. Don't. Not in the last minute and a half. Please. Clear it out of here. Get it out of here. Oh, a corner. Oh, wait a second. Pause. Team instructions. Time wasting. Probably should have done that before. And that's fine. Play. Minute to go. They're not going to score here, are they? Oh my goodness, it hit the bar. It hit the bar and went over? Are you kidding me? Okay, just hoof it on out of here. Get it out of here. Hoof it on out. Be smart. Be smart. Get rid of it. Good. Excellent. Oops, not quite what we were hoping for. Just a couple seconds left. All right. That's got to be the whistle. Okay. Not bad. I mean, we didn't get the offense we wanted for sure. We almost lost it at the end. They hit the bar in the last minute. They had 2-1 shots on us, but playing against a stronger team on the road, we did generate some shots. We come out with a very valuable point playing on the road against the team significantly above us in the standings. I think we have to be happy with that. James Quinn, our assistant manager, says, tell the boys they did well and their efforts were excellent. I'm going to have to agree with it. I mean, I still think our offense needs some tweaking, and maybe that's not anywhere close to the right form, but well done, lads. You've just proved a lot of people wrong in avoiding defeat out there. Sure, let's try that. Everybody's happy, and that's good. We'll end the team talk, and let's move on. So there you have it. It is November 13th. We've picked up a valuable point on the road. That actually interesting. This was, I think, our 19th match. It's only our second draw. And looking at the table now, oh, wow, Southport and Warrington picked up no points. So they stayed at 17 points. But Barrow in 20th place did draw. So we're still 3 points above the relegation zone. But we did gain 2 points on both Southport and Warrington, who are below us. And we're only 1 point away now from Chorley, and a couple points. You know, a win could really kind of set us up a little bit more. But more ominously, we're still only 3 points above the relegation zone. So we held our own over the 20th place Barrow. And speaking of which, we play Barrow next. So talk about a big game. 17th place Farsley against 20th place Barrow. So we'll play that one next. But there you have the results from today. All in all, obviously we didn't score a goal, and I was hoping we'd score a goal. But considering we had a player go down late, And playing a better team on the road, I'll have to be happy with that. So 0-0 tie. We still sit in 17th place, and that is the November edition of the Unintentional Journeyman. We'll be back in December. Coming ahead, we have a lot lighter load of games, which will really help our players as we look back. This again is just showing the league games, but if we look at all the games we played, in September it was 7 games. In October it was 9 games. So if we look at our squad's kind of status, it's just so many players tired from playing so many games. So the rest of the month we have Barrow in 20th place, a big game coming up, and on Saturday in a week. And then another week we play the first round. We don't know our opponent yet, the FA Trophy Cup third qualifying round. Then we'll go into December. Again, a lighter schedule in December. I suppose if we win or tie that will kick over some matches in here. So maybe a couple more, depending on what kind of a draw we get there. Spennymoor, I think, is in first place. Darlington up some of these teams up the top of the league. So hopefully we can beat Barrow. 3 points there would be huge to put a 6-point gap on us and the 20th place team. Losing that will pull them right up there. So there's a big game. I almost feel like we should play that one and see how it goes. But it'd take us a lot of clicking to get there, and I want to get this episode out. So I'll be back sometime, probably the Darlington match right around Christmas time. Or Spennymoor, maybe, somewhere in there. We'll see how it goes. But I'll be back. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, and click for subscription or click a like. And love to read the comments, too. If anybody's enjoying this and has some tips and ideas or things you're enjoying, let me know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.